Welcome to the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast, where we break down Bendis' iconic run on Ultimate Spider-Man, issues 1 through 160 in Earth 1610. I'm Zach, and I'm joined, as always, by Cat Dad, John Opat.
How's it going?
Doing well. How are you? How's Baby Billy?
Baby Billy's doing better. That's kind of a tongue twister. But he is throwing up still. You know, I know it's like every time I don't want to sound like my cats are always sick, but he's been sick for a minute now. But he's definitely getting better, and he's adjusting to his new food while throwing it up.
Good.
So it is. So I had a thought while you were doing the intro.
What's that?
Not to get off of sick cats. Are we still in Bendis' iconic run, would you say? Or are we past that?
I mean, 1 to 160 is
how it's known.
Definitely an era. And then everything after that is a different era. And it's all written by Bendis.
Well, this isn't 1 to 160. Well, you mean 1 to 137 or whatever?
Well, so what? Even though they renumbered it, they will pick up the numbers again. You're still saying
this is still the era?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like, how can this be the golden era when I hate these comics so much?
I'm not at all. I'm not at all, and I don't hate them. That's not true. I'm just going to become the biggest Spider-Man hater ever. That's what this podcast will turn into.
2 years into starting a Spider-Man podcast because you kind of like Spider-Man, and you'll turn into J. Jonah Jameson.
No, I'm just joking. I don't hate them. I love them. What do you got going on?
Dude, I am back in my own house, gas-free, sewage-free.
That's right. You had a gas leak.
Yeah. We were both real down on our luck last episode, so it's good to see podcasters bounce back.
So did Shyla ever figure out that you almost blew the house up? Did you do any research into how close you were to almost blowing the house up?
I'm real bad at science and wouldn't know how to begin that research, but
That's not true. Zach was doing a science experiment before we hopped on here, testing out microphones.
That's true. Listeners, if you think this episode sounds better, let me know. And if you think it sounds worse, let me know. Because we took the sock off our microphones. Yeah, I sent you a text this week when I was editing where I said, yeah, I didn't tell Shyla. I almost blew her up and I don't plan on it. And she was sitting right next to me as I edited that.
Oh, that's funny. So, but she did know.
Well, she heard when I was editing the episode.
Oh, okay. But It sounds like it wasn't a thing. Okay.
We didn't blow up, so.
That's fine. And you didn't do any research.
Right. I don't know if I'm on thin ice or not, but at least we're still here.
Definitely. Well, I'm glad you guys are back home.
Yeah. Dude, I can't wait till the end. You watched Evangelion. At least
what a tease.
Part of it.
What a tease for the end of the episode. We'll have to keep everyone around for that.
No. I have been getting so many messages on the Instagram where people are like, I love that you guys are talking about anime now.
Yeah, John, that's crazy. I don't want to do that. So this will become a Spider-Man hating podcast before it becomes an anime podcast. Okay.
Oh no. Who would have guessed though that like one type of nerd fandom would be also have crossover with the other type of nerd fandom?
I'm surprised every time you send me a comment. Every time I see a screenshot of a comment.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you don't want to talk about it, that's all right.
No, I do. At the end. We're teasing it for the end, right? Isn't that what we were doing?
Okay. Yeah, we can. You got any?
Of course.
You got anything else for the beginning?
No.
Okay. I won't even do a thing. We haven't earned a thing yet. All right, well, let's send it over to our sponsors and then get into these issues.
Every business says they're better. but the ones that earn and display the BBB seal back it up. It instantly identifies businesses that are committed to operating with integrity, honoring promises, and telling the truth. Makes you wonder why every business doesn't have it. So look for it, because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
And we're back. And today we are getting into Ultimate Spider-Man number 5, or number 139 with the legacy numbering. This one is written by Bendis, art by David LaFuente, colored by Justin Ponzer, and lettered by VC's Corey Petit. And John, I gotta say, I don't know if I'm going crazy or what, but I'm getting used to the art. It's always jarring the first couple of issues when a new artist starts, and I really didn't like David LaFuente on those first few issues, but for some reason this just doesn't feel as cartoonish anymore.
I don't agree with that. I'm getting used to it, but I don't know. I still think it feels very like made for kids on the Disney Channel, which I've said a couple times, but that's just what it reminds me of. That like Spidey and Friends thing with Drake and Josh that we watched earlier.
the Christmas episode, the very Spidey Christmas
Why
Carol.
did we watch that again? What was that?
It was our Christmas episode.
Awesome. That must have been my idea.
It definitely was, and people will notice we haven't done any holiday specials since. I love how the first year...
I'm glad that you're getting used to it, and it's not like it's like terrible, but I do think it feels like we're like reading different characters.
Now, I do see that, because I've already said Mary Jane is a completely different character now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So, we open on Kitty Pryde's mom coming home. And from the first panel, you can see their house is pretty prominently spray painted. And one of the things it says is, "Out Muty."
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kitty's mom is on the phone with the principal of Midtown High. And we can tell from her end of the conversation, he's basically trying to kick Kitty out for being a mutant. And Kitty's mom says they'll have to wait.
Up. Everyone's against them.
It is.
I know last week you said that she should let people throw food at her and not use her powers. But I think that's messed up, Zach.
John, are you remembering things differently? You were the one saying that. What are we even doing here? If you ever remember a conversation where I didn't take Kitty Pryde's side, then you're misremembering that conversation.
I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh, this is messed up, dude. This principal is really uncool. He tried to kick Spider-Man out not months ago.
I know, and he sent his f***ing aunt to jail for nothing.
That's true. Mm.
And he's got a doofy haircut.
And he does have a doofy. That's true also.
Yeah. So Kitty's mom's like, I think we're going to have to continue this conversation later when our lawyers are present. And John, I got to call out an Easter egg when I see one.
Too bad Matt Murdock's dead.
Oh, yeah.
They could have hired Matt Murdock. He could have came in. It could have been like Full House.
We still got She-Hulk, probably.
That's true.
That's
is she coming in?
That's the only other lawyer I know in the Marvel Universe.
Okay, what were you about to say?
Oh, yeah. So Kitty's mom has a keychain on her keys that's a little purple dragon. And that's a Lockheed reference for you, because there's no Lockheed in the Ultimate Universe. But now Bendis has given us a few different Lockheed cameos.
I don't know who that is
or
what that is. It's a purple dragon, apparently.
He's
Zach's
this guy
grabbing something. Oh, is that like Kitty Pryde's pet dragon?
It is.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, he's a good boy. But he doesn't exist in the Ultimate Universe. So when you see a purple dragon, it'll be like on t-shirts, or she'll have like a doll, or
Yeah,
was doing that
Lockheed is like her doll.
She was doing that danger room simulation that one time. Bendis loves to put Lockheed in Ultimate Universe, even though he doesn't exist. And
what happened in the danger room?
It was the annual where her and Peter started dating. It opened with her dressed like a Ren Fair, getting chased by a purple dragon. And then she's like, simulation off, and he just disappeared.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I bet when we covered that, you went, that's Lockheed.
I did. I did call it out. All right. Kitty's mom hangs up the phone and says, "Come on, Kitty, just once, can you not make my life a living hell?" And that's a funny line, given what's going to happen.
Why?
Well, we'll see where the issue goes.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Kitty, for once, can you make my life not a living hell? Let's just remember that.
Okay.
So Mrs. Pride realizes that someone is in the house, and it's like freezing in there. And she grabs a knife from the kitchen knife block and starts walking through the house. And she discovers someone and says, "Who are you?" And a teenage boy says, "My name is Bobby Drake. I'm a friend of your daughter. I'm one of the X-Men. Please, I just need somewhere to stay. I just need somewhere to sleep. Kitty said I could crash here while you were at work. Please don't call the cops." We've got another Easter egg. Spilling out of his bag is like some books and comic books and stuff, and one of them says Powers, which is a Brian Michael Bendis creator-owned comic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at those two to see if he had any nudie magazines in there. Nope, he also has a Spider-Man magazine or something.
It says Webhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another of Spider-Man's amazing friends is coming in and staying with us. This is crazy.
You gotta love it.
You gotta love it.
You know, there's nothing funnier than a bit that's not working, and then you choose to double down onto it. I actually respect that more than pivoting away from the bit.
Yeah, I do too. There's definitely a joke in my issue that I'm like, now that's funny. And it has to do with this bit.
Your issue is great. I can't wait. I assigned the issues before I actually looked at them, and I'm like, I kind of wish I had read his. Okay. We cut to the Queensboro Bridge, where Mysterio has just defeated Spider-Man. This is where last week we left off.
Mysterio's standing there with his like Hulk hologram, and it's interesting that the Hulk has been green for so long, and yet Mysterio... Did I say Mysterion?
Whatever his name is.
Well, I just watched the South Park episode with like Mysterion the other day. But anyway, his hologram is gray.
Like it should be.
Well, I don't know. I think we've talked about this, but at this point, the Hulk is green in this universe. We've seen him green more times than we've seen him gray.
I disagree.
So he's green. So I don't know. Mysterio maybe doesn't. He's not that in tune. I think he's living in the past.
His Hulk also has a very fat baby fist. He just looks like a chubby baby's hand.
Yep.
Okay. So Peter's on the ground. He's conscious, but he can't move. And Mysterio starts to pick him up when our Assassin's Creed friend shows up and kicks him in the head. And he tries to blast them, but nothing happens. And Assassin's Creed keeps fighting him. And Mysterio says, "I'm not prepared for you, so you'll have to excuse me." And he grabs him by the cloak and throws him off the fucking bridge into the water. Which I thought we established early on, when Green Goblin went to throw Mary Jane off of this same bridge. Oh, that's high enough, it kills you. But here it's just kind of played for comedic effect. You just hear a splash at the bottom.
Okay. Is this the Brooklyn Bridge?
This is the Queensboro Bridge.
And is this the one she was thrown off of?
It is.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. The Brooklyn Bridge.
You kind of hesitated there. Are you sure? Sure? Are you 100% sure?
In the original Death of Gwen Stacy story, it is the Brooklyn Bridge, but in the Ultimate Universe, it was the Queensboro Bridge.
You are sure? It's like the most annoying thing. But like, you're positive. You remember in this comic book, it said she's the Queensboro Bridge.
Yes.
Okay. So this is interesting then. Maybe were they at the top of the bridge? Like, see how there's like, there's the bridge and then there's the very, very top of it.
Yep, they were on one of the towers.
Okay, so that's much higher, it looks like, to scale. It's like 3 times the height if they were at the very top.
Yeah, that's probably true. Also, it's a baseline human and it's just a made-up story.
This is clearly a superhero person.
Right. Okay, so
good call out. I'm glad you said that.
Mysterio has thrown Assassin's Creed off the bridge, and he turns around and says,
Mysterio and his stupid blue face, his stupid blue fire face. He's just not Mysterio at all.
I love how you never get tired of that. Every time you see him, it's a surprise.
I know, it really is. Thank you. Thank you for understanding where I'm coming from. It was like I was just reading the comic along with you, and then there's that one panel where you see his stupid blue face. And you're like, oh yeah, that's right.
John has not developed object permanence yet for this one character. Every time you look away from Mysterio, he should stop being blue and stupid. Okay. So he turns around and he says, "You got yourself a little sidekick." And we see a close up.
But it's also his full black outfit, He just could be anybody. If you showed me that villain and you gave me 50 guesses on who it was, I wouldn't come up with Mysterio.
Yeah. He even looks like Electro in this universe. He even looks like a different guy that's in this comic already, because the first time we met him, you said, "Oh yeah, I think this is Electro." You gotta distinguish him.
Like how Electro should look. He's like a blue energy person.
I mean, not typically. Electro got redesigned into that also.
I just mean this guy is like a blue energy person.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, go on.
So he turns around and he starts to quip, and then he sees that Peter's not on the ground, and he's like, And in the next panel, Peter is up, kicking him in the chin, saying, "Great catchphrase. And
he starts to quip. Everybody's a quipper in this universe.
Everyone. Directed by Quentin Tarantino. And he keeps beating up on Mysterio and says, "Okay, I give up. Who are you and what do you want? Let's do that. Fight the cliche and put all your cards on the table." And John, I don't like that this is
okay. Thank you for saying something.
in universe, this is the second time in 5 minutes he said, "Let's fight the cliche."
I know. He said it to the Hulk. Okay. And now he's saying it to this guy. And of course I spent a lot of time thinking about this right when I read it. And I'm like, okay, maybe, look, he must think that's a really funny line. And it kind of was the first time we read it, right? So he's probably like,
time to play the hits.
He's probably like, "Fight the cliche, Hulk. Don't smash." And then he's like, "That was pretty funny." And it got wasted on the Hulk. So I'm going to use that.
It wasn't real.
Exactly. So nobody even heard my joke. So I'm going to use it again for an actual audience. And look, I've been known to make the same joke to 2 different groups of people, So I'll give him a pass. I blame Brian Michael Bendis, though.
Bendis definitely does have turns of phrases that he loves to reuse, like how we locked onto piece of work.
Oh yeah,
there's just certain things like that keep coming up in his stuff. You're like, do you realize that you said that a few months ago? Is this a callback or is that just how you talk?
I wonder when he wrote this compared to when he wrote the last one.
The last time he said,
yeah,
fight the cliche.
Fight the cliche.
Dude, it would have been like a month or less because that was the last issue.
So maybe he just forgot. I mean, realistically, he could have. He could have been like, I don't remember. Did I have that planned for that issue or this one or whatever?
Sure. Well, also, one thing that I think I don't think we mentioned it enough on this podcast, and I think it realistically definitely affected these issues, is the fact that basically the most of the time that he was writing Ultimate Spider-Man for Marvel, he was writing everything else for Marvel too. He had like a long Avengers run. He had an X-Men run that was pretty long. He worked with a bunch of other individual heroes. He worked with, he was creating new characters. He was running events. I mean, he was like the main guy at Marvel and was pretty consistently pumping out like.
Well, and I know he was on the team for the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, he's always done consultant work and stuff, and he's got his own creator-owned stuff like Powers. I mean, this guy was probably around this time publishing 10 comics a month and keeping track of all of it.
Yeah.
So that had to have some kind of effect, whether it was burnout or whether it was just creative genius all striking at once. I don't know, but...
Well, I think it's funny.
It's worth mentioning.
And I'm going to say fight the cliche to all of my different kids at school and make sure I don't repeat it to anyone. I'll be like, fight the cliche. Do your homework. Okay.
I think that's a good idea. That's a good bit. You should repeat that to everyone. Okay.
Okay,
so,
did you get to say everything you wanted to say about that? I know sometimes you bring stuff up and then I just talk.
I think that was it, yeah. About fighting the cliche.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Electro shocks Peter to the other side of the bridge, and they keep fighting, and Electro kind of gains the upper hand. It's one of those, in some panels Peter's winning, in some panels Mysterio's winning, but at the end of the day, there's a mutual respect.
I know that that's It's Always Sunny reference. I just didn't know if you wanted me to say it or not. Okay.
That was a joke for you more than the listeners. But I'm glad you got it.
If there's one thing... Oh, my buddy just texted me. We all bet on Purdue tonight. All I was doing all day, listeners, was waiting for the Purdue game to start, and then Zach wanted to hop on and record like 20 minutes before the Purdue game started. But no, it's cool. Okay. If there's something to be said about this guy's art, David LaFuente, is that?
Yes.
Okay. I can never tell what's going on more than I usually can't tell what's going on. Like you said, in some panels he's winning, in some panels he's winning, but there's a mutual respect. They're both going to get their licks in, and then I know if I turn 2 pages from now, Spider-Man will have like escaped or webbed him up or something, right? But I just can't. And it's not just in this fight. But it has been a couple times like per issue where I'm like, I can't really tell what's supposed to be happening. I have to like use the context clues to determine who's doing what power and what's being done,
Yeah.
So anyway, maybe that's just me.
No, it's not, because later on I get to something where I'm like, I think this is what happened. We will get there shortly. Okay, so it looks like Mysterio's got the upper hand. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And then Assassin's Creed comes back and kicks Mysterio so hard his hologram tech stops shrouding his face. And he's just a normal guy. He's just a normal, bald, white guy. And he's like...
Wilson Fisk. He's just Kingpin. He's just another bald guy who's just upset that he didn't have any hair.
Yeah.
Wants to take over the world about it. He just wants to be headband boys like us, Zach.
Hey, now there's nothing wrong with being bald.
I agree. It's these guys that want to take over the world about it.
Right. Okay, so the tech stopped working. He finally doesn't have the blue fire face, and he's like, "Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No!" And then he does a big shock, and a portion of the bridge explodes. And I'm like, was that like a feedback from his thing breaking? Was that a planned attack? Did he just blow himself up? What is going on here? And that's where the art is confusing, but also in universe, I think Peter is a little confused because he thinks the same thing. He's like, did he just blow up? No, I wouldn't be that lucky. And he calls out, anyone hurt besides me?
Well, I think it's a good thing he didn't blow up. There would have been like a humongous explosion on the bridge.
Well, there was.
Peter, no, I think, Zach, that it was all a hologram.
We see the bridge breaking apart from it.
I think it's a hologram.
I don't fucking know. Might be. I mean, we don't see the damage again, I guess.
The thing is, Peter is still standing on the ground. And if there was an explosion, he would have fallen. You know, the guy was like on top of Peter, right? So if there was an explosion, that area where Peter's standing, I think would be like rubble, is what makes me think it was all. And you know, the bridge isn't like in danger of collapsing over the next couple panels. So I took it to be that the whole thing was just like a hologram that Mysterio had planned.
I guess.
But I don't know. That's where the same thing as you, right? I couldn't 100% tell.
And also, I mean, generally when someone is wearing essentially a backpack that blows up and you can see it, I mean, that's a huge explosion, if it is an explosion. The person wearing that backpack that exploded would not be left alive. And Mysterio looks fine.
Yeah, that's also true. Like, not only that, he looks like he's like, I don't know, like he planned that.
He's like,
you know?
Peter sees him on one of the beams of the bridge, and he's like trying to slither away like a snake. He looks very snake-like.
He's like trying to like sneak away in the chaos, and he's like trying to climb up at things, like just not very acrobatic.
I mean, bold move to think you're about to outclimb Spider-Man. That's kind of what he does. And Peter sees him and he's like, hey, you! And Electro's like, I'm gonna kill you, and then vanishes somehow.
Electro says that?
I'm sorry, Mysterio. We were talking about Electro a minute ago.
Yeah, and then he like hits a button and he like has a teleporter. So, dude, I'm like skeptical that this was ever even Mysterio here at all. Like,
I mean, why would he show his face if this was all some kind of controlled thing?
So what? Mysterio
Unless that's
can
not
just
his
like
face.
Mysterio can just like teleport away now.
I don't
power that people have.
I didn't think he teleported. I thought it was like camouflage. I thought he just went invisible.
This is what I mean when I'm like, the art isn't helping me understand what's happening in the story.
Yeah.
Like, Mysterio is 1 inch in front of Spider-Man, and then he, like, disappears into a cloud of dust in front of him. So that had to, and he's Mysterio, right? So that had to have been a hologram based on everything I know about Mysterio.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm stumped, John.
Well, I'm not. I know what happened.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Peter goes to try and talk to Assassin's Creed, who tells him, don't touch me. And he says, thank you for saving him. And then, hey, you were at the mall last night, right? You saved my friend, the redhead. Was that you? And they're like, maybe. And Peter wonders what's up with their voice. He's like, oh, you're doing a voice. And, oh, sorry, he doesn't say that yet. Okay.
Well,
he says...
He thought it.
Yeah, he says, well, seriously, thank you. And they go, whatever. And he asks if they're a boy or a girl, and they're like, what? And he goes, you're doing a voice. And he keeps trying to talk shop and ask if they know about Mysterio, and they're like, no, that's your problem. And keeps trying to walk away, and it reminds me of Johnny Storm following Jessica Drew around like a little puppy and not getting the hint.
Oh, yeah.
And Assassin's Creed is like, there, and points to a piece of tech that came off Mysterio. And Peter crouches down to inspect it, but when he turns around again, Assassin's Creed is gone. And he's kind of thinking about all these mysterious characters that keep popping up into his life. And that thought is interrupted by a girl asking for an autograph. And she says he's pretty hot, which is funny because she can't see his face. And I said he's surrounded by many grateful fans.
I'm not so sure about this girl.
She looks like a very intentional character design.
Have you ever heard of the honeypot?
I have, but explain it.
You know, a girl goes in to like a spy girl goes in to like flirt with someone and disarm them. That's just the vibe I got when she just pops up out of nowhere here, dressed pretty trying to impress Spider-Man, like, I'll say.
It's a strange look. It's like a ballerina's
for
tutu.
the middle of the Brooklyn Bridge.
Queensboro
Bridge.
It's like a corset and a tutu, and then knee-high boot heels. And a choker.
Yeah. Okay.
She
just
probably
be careful, Spider-Man.
She probably works at Hot Topic.
Dude, oh my God, kill me. What did somebody just say the other day about Hot Topic or Spencer's Gifts? Okay. I think it was the Doctor Who shirt that I bought when I was with you guys at the Comic-Con. I was wearing it. And that's what somebody said.
That it looked like you got it from
They
Hot
were
Topic?
like, oh yeah. It looks like a shirt you'd get on like Hot Topic or Spencer's Gift. And I'm like, fucking, you just like wrecked me.
As someone whose whole closet at one point came from Hot Topic, that is a funny takedown.
It's like a blue and orange shirt. It like doesn't look anything like that.
They're just jealous because you can't get Doctor Who stuff at, like, I don't know, the Gap.
Maybe that's fucking white people shopping at the Gap.
Yeah, come on now. No culture.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. I think that is what made them be like, yeah. I think it was the Doctor Who aspect of it. But still, I was like, oh.
Look at this asshole. He's got interests and puts him on a t-shirt.
Sorry, Zach, but if I just wrecked you talking about how much I don't want something to look like Hot Topic or Spencer's Gift, and then you're like, that's where my whole wardrobe came from.
Well, I said at one point, because that was like me in college. I don't even think I have any of those shirts anymore. It's been a while.
Did you send me some picture of you in like an emo thing? You in an emo costume or something? Am I
oh my God.
That?
Yeah. We got invited to a birthday party that was a costume party that was, quote, 2000s theme. So I got in my tightest black jeans and
that is hilarious.
My long sleeve checkered print black shirt from the When We Were Young festival. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. And wasn't your hair like combed down black?
It was no, but we straightened it. It was like over my eyes.
Yeah.
It was right before I got a haircut.
Oh, good stuff.
Yep. Okay. Where were we? We cut to Kitty getting an earful from her mom about Bobby. And Kitty isn't backing down. And she's kind of standing up to her mom. And she's like, Bobby has nowhere to go and he shouldn't have to leave. And Kitty says Bobby's mom disowned him for being a mutant. And her mom's like, that's sad, but we have our own problems. They're trying to expel you from school. And she says, I can't do both, Kitty.
It's a tough situation.
I can't fight the entire school system and the world for you and also start taking in strays.
I feel like the stray cats are enough for me. I like want to, I want to chuck them back out, and they're just cats, so I can't even imagine taking in a stray person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And neither can Kitty's mom.
Yep.
And Bobby's like, no, it's okay, I'll go. And I can just imagine, like, him packing up his little knapsack on the end of a stick and sadly walking down to the train depot.
Well, he'll be fine, dude. He's a superhero.
Yeah.
It's like an origin story.
It builds character.
I mean, yeah.
And Kitty says, no, if you go, we both go. And they keep arguing, and then Kitty...
Speaking of, look at this little guy.
What?
He heard me say I wanted to get rid of him and throw him back outside. He came and snuggled up. Oh, I'm just joking. You're just a total pain in the ass. But
he's
okay.
like, Father, remember me well. I'm one of the good ones.
He's been doing better. He's been doing better. There hasn't been as much piss to clean up in the house.
Glad to hear it. Okay, so Kitty is like, wait a minute, I got an idea. How about this? And we don't see what she says yet. But we can guess. We can infer where this is going.
Dude, I can't. Never in a fucking million years did I think that this is where this was going.
It's so fun. We cut to the police station where another crazy in a mask is getting walked through the bullpen while yelling, I was reborn! Rebirthed!
This is so interesting to me, okay? Because, like, every single other time we've ever gotten this picture of someone being dragged through, I feel like it's been a wide shot, and our person is just, like, small and in the background, kind of. And now... it's like very prominent in front and center. I don't know. It all of these little differences just speak to what the comic run is about now.
LaFuente, you don't understand. We cut to a wide shot in the police station.
I'm just saying, it's like, oh, it's all just more about bits now, Zach.
Well, this bit existed. We've been doing this for a while.
In a wide shot.
Yeah. You bungled the delivery.
I don't know. You don't understand what I'm talking about?
I'm going to be real with you, Chief. In this instance, I don't.
Okay.
Are you just saying the whole run is turning into bits and jokes?
Yes, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this specific bit has been around since
Okay, but it's like...
Bagley.
It's like... You've probably heard the term like Flanderization.
Yes.
Where early on people have like character traits and they have bits, but then as it goes on,
they become that.
Exactly. And it becomes like even like more to a degree, right? And that's what it feels like to me.
I do agree with that, yeah. Like I said last time, the girls are getting reduced down to their traits. Like, if you need someone to say something, instead of all three of them being equally able to say something that they would probably believe, you have to figure out, okay, well, Mary Jane would probably say this as the reporter girl, and Gwen would probably say this as the alt girl, and Kitty would say this as a mutant, and it's all structured backwards like that.
This reminds me, like this is like Seinfeld, and we like change the police station, and there's like a person getting dragged through the door, and it's like sitcom, and like Kramer comes in, and we all like clap, and you're like, yeah.
He comes in all goofy, just
I
like
don't know. This whole run just feels so like 90s sitcom, 80s, 90s type of sitcom to me, and it doesn't get less like that. I don't think.
I can't help but feel like that's not a compliment.
It's fine. It's very fun. I'm a big fan of those types of sitcoms.
It has to adapt. I mean, it can't be the same comic it was in 2003.
Did you ever see the like video called Too Many Cooks?
No. I know the phrase, like too many cooks in the kitchen.
It's like a video that was on, I don't know, maybe like Adult Swim or one of those like weird shows, kind of, you know, And it's just a pretty funny video that you should check out. It's like about like it's like the theme song to an 80s sitcom called Too Many Cooks.
Okay.
About like people whose like last names are Cooks and blah, blah, blah. So anyway,
James Cook, Dalvin Cook.
Pretty funny. Goes on for a while. It's a pretty long video.
Gotcha. I'll check that out. Okay.
Go on, Zach.
Okay, so we're in the police
Sorry
station.
to upend us.
You're good. The captain says something or other, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to deal with any more of these superheroes. And just then, Spider-Man gleefully comes through the window saying, I tried to make an appointment. And all the other cops are just tickled pink by it. They're like clapping and, you know, he's here. And then
it's not at all like Kramer swinging open the door.
Yeah. And then this is kind of funny. You just compared this to a sitcom. Look at these bottom two panels. It's framed the way like an interview scene in The Office is framed. There's literally like a wall and a window right next to him. And the police captain is looking at Spider-Man and is like, get the hell in my office right now. So there's a sitcom reference for you. And we see them talking in the office, and the captain is cranky, and he's mad about the bridge, and Peter's like, hey, I didn't do it. And he gives the captain the tech he got, and he tells him he got it while kicking Mysterio's ass, and the captain's like, uh-huh. You know it was televised, right? And Peter's like, oh. So you know it was really mostly me getting my ass kicked, and then someone had to save me. The captain's like, yeah, everyone knows that. And Peter goes to hand him the tech, and the captain just looks fed up, and he's like, kid, there's 400 procedural cop shows on TV, and you don't know not to touch or remove stuff from a crime scene? And Peter's like, I don't watch TV. And the captain says he's going to have to mail this to the feds. This is bigger than him. And Peter's like, well, I only trust you. Which is interesting because we don't know why Peter would trust this guy. I don't think. I think
They
he's
have
just
some history.
They've dealt with each other, but I don't know how he's earned his trust.
Peter's a trusting guy.
Apparently. And we cut to Gwen on the Parker porch saying, okay, brace yourself. Aunt May has gone insane, as Peter walks up to the house.
See, this is where I was like, no way. Are you serious?
I love it. You could just feel it like in your chest, like, oh my God, are they really going to do this? She's like, we have a new roommate. And Peter's like, yeah, I know about Johnny. And Gwen's like, no, on top of Johnny. That's why I ran out to tell you this, so you won't have a tantrum in front of him. Peter's like, oh, great. Let me guess. Is it Dr. Octopus? And he walks in and everyone's in his living room. And Aunt May pulls him aside and is like, Peter, I think we should take in your friend Bobby, too. And Peter's like, what? Who? And May's like, Bobby, you know, ice powers, your friend. And Peter's like, I barely know him. And May's like, oh, I thought you guys were friends. And she explains, well, he's Kitty's friend, but he can't stay there because she's on thin ice as it is. And Gwen pops her head around the corner and is like, hey, just so you know, everyone's aware that you're talking about them right now. And May's like, you need to be Spider-Man. I need to do this. It's my way to help. And we cut to Mysterio cursing.
Well, okay. Do we want to talk about any of that at all?
I feel we should. It's the point of the issue.
Yeah.
Oh, and Gwen says it's like they have their own Avengers mansion now.
Yeah, that's kind of
Ultimates
funny.
mansion or whatever.
I really don't like the art. Oh, sorry, David LaFuente. I know he's like a person who like is doing his best, and I'm sure some people love it, but I just don't like it at all, you know? And I think when there's just like one or two people in the panel, boy, it's just really not very good. Maybe it's because I just don't like the way Aunt May looks at all, and she's in so many of these. But I don't really I don't know. Am I just hating? Am I just a big hater?
No, I mean, I get it. It's like not a style for everyone. And I wouldn't even be opposed to it in a different comic, is the thing. Like, I feel like this would suit maybe a Miss Marvel, like a Kamala Khan comic. Something that's supposed to be more, I don't know, teen and lighthearted, and I'm not as attached to the characters being drawn any particular way. But when it's the Ultimate Spider-Man run that has never felt or looked like this, it is stark.
That's fine, Aunt May. You can take the kids in if it makes you feel better.
It's so funny now how, like, it's just nakedly out there that this is a lonely woman who just wants to adopt a million kids.
How are you going to pay for this, Aunt May?
You know, extra.
She's not thinking.
I know, extra shifts at the call center, I guess. They all better start working at Burger Frog and pitching in for rent.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And then Peter is the one who's like, how the hell is this going to work? And she's like, oh, he'll bunk with Johnny. It's great. Everything's fine.
It's like, that actually does make sense. I guess there's theoretically some room. You're running out of it, but you still got some space.
She needs less and less convincing every time a new kid arrives at her house. Like, she took in Gwen only after, like, having almost a relationship with her father.
She's taken in 2 kids in the span of, like, 7 hours.
Yes.
It's bad.
Yeah, because they were just talking about Johnny needs to go to school. He hasn't even gone to school yet. He, like, just got there.
That was the night before, I think.
Yeah. Wow. What a time to be alive.
What a woman.
I love it.
Mother Teresa.
Of Queens. Except you said Mother Teresa might not actually be that great.
I know. I did.
My parents.
And then I told some of my coworkers at my Catholic school that I was like, okay, can I ruin Mother Teresa for everyone? Is that okay? You guys know I can't talk about anything without ruining it. Can I tell you about how Mother Teresa was bad? They're like, fine. I'm like, she was bad. Okay.
Before there was Mr. Beast, our original problematic fave, Mother Teresa. I told Alyssa recently that we had a bit for a while that you were the biggest Mr. Beast supporter, and she's like, oh my God, no, why? And I was like, because we don't know anything about him.
Mr. Beast and Elon Musk. I'm huge fans.
Yeah.
If somebody, I'm sure I put this offer out before, but if somebody buys me a Cybertruck, I'll make loving Elon Musk my entire personality. I'll start a Twitter, an Instagram. I'll make my license plate like Elon Heart or something.
I mean, shoot, if someone buys me a Cybertruck, I would let the webheads decide, like, how I should wrap it or paint it or, like, put bumper stickers on it. I mean, I would make that thing look even more ridiculous than it does.
Not me.
Just for fun.
I would just do I would wrap it with something that says Elon is God.
An AI image of him holding you as a baby.
That'd be perfect.
What the hell? Where are we? Okay, we cut to Mysterio cursing Spider-Man in his lair, and he's mad about the tech that got ruined that I said probably took weeks of his life to make. And he realizes he's got some of Peter's blood on the side of it and is like, jackpot or something. I don't know. He's going to do some science thing with Peter's blood, probably.
He's going to do,
probably more clones.
We've seen enough people use Peter's blood that it's just pretty easy to use, probably.
Yeah, we know what's happening
it's
here.
It's got to be in a system somewhere.
Listen, Bendis, this ain't our first rodeo. Peter's blood equals bad. We know.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, Zach. I have one.
Is it going to be the same one? Probably.
No, definitely not. I guess
Okay.
I can save mine for my next one. But this one was pretty sitcom-y. But that'll tease for the next one. So
Okay.
You can go.
All right. Out of 3 strays that Aunt May has taken in at this point.
Okay, that's good.
I gave this a 2.5 strays.
Oh my gosh, that's really high.
Let's say 2 kids and a cat.
That's what?
Isn't that like...
That's what, 5/6? So...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
3 is a hard one, because I thought 2 out of 3.
It was your rating system.
Unkind. All right, 2.3 out of 3 strays that Aunt May has taken in. 2 kids and a 3-legged cat.
I'll go... I think I'll go with 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
Rounding up to a 7 there. You know, I'm still just it sure does feel like we've been just like treading water here for a lot of issues in a row, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like when are we gonna figure out this Mysterio guy's deal? How long's he gonna be in this thing?
Well, you know, he killed the Kingpin
in one panel.
He's got to be a big deal.
I guess that's true.
It's true. It's the sunk cost fallacy, John. You can't have a villain kill the Kingpin and then not use him to death.
That's true. So, are we ready for the next one?
Yes, please.
Issue 6, we've got the same creative team. On the cover, there's this really goofy-looking robot. It's got like 3 eyes. I don't know. This isn't Mysterio at all. There's nothing mysterious about what's happening with this robot.
Wow. We have different opinions on this issue, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, I don't. Sometimes I get my opinion while we're talking about it.
Sure. Well, I know what you were thinking on this first page, and it was probably in Zach.
Yeah. Yes. I actually said to myself multiple times, in patented fashion, Zach has given me an issue to read with the most amount of text in the smallest font you've ever seen in a comic book. Another incredible job, Zach. You got me once again. It really is funny when I turn the page and see it every time.
And
I wish there was a camera on my face.
It's always the first page, too. And I'm not meaning to do it, because at this point, unless I know like something in particular big is happening that I want you to cover, or I want to cover, I just always err on the side of I take the first one, you take the second one.
Yeah. Well, so here's what's in... We've got a good 1,000 words on this page. You could do a college thesis on this page. So Peter's he's doing the sitcom thing. You know, David LaFuente has drawn us an awesome little image of the new family at dinner.
It's like the fucking, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say fucking before this, but it's like the Christ's Last Supper painting where they're all sitting on the same side of the table.
Bobby Drake's making ice cubes. Aunt May's serving people. Johnny Storm's just being handsome. Gwen's getting angry with him, and Peter's just looking at the camera it's like it should be a freeze frame, and the title should come up. You know?
Dude, I wonder how big The Office was a big show at this point. He's literally
doing the Jim look.
The Jim Halpert face with Jim hair and a Jim nose and everything.
Yep. And okay, so he's talking about how he's dating Gwen, and he's like, how did I even start dating Gwen? I don't even remember. And I think it's a little bit of Bendis commentary, Zach, because we don't even know how he started dating. I think it's Bendis being like, I don't care about this. It's,
don't worry about it.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't even know if I wanted to start dating her. She just kind of forced herself to be my girlfriend. And I guess and now I live with her and she's always around, and it's pretty cool, I guess. And he's also like, and now Johnny lives here and Bobby lives here, and I don't even know these guys, and what the hell is going on? And did I cover all of that okay with you, Zach?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I didn't actually read it. I saw it and I was like, oh, wow.
The text was so small, dude. It was like absurd. Like,
yeah.
If I couldn't zoom in on that, it would be unreadable.
I mean, you can tell this was a 2-page spread.
Oh, was it? Okay. Oh, well, that makes it better. Okay, so Gwen stands up at the dinner table. And she's like, just so we're clear, everyone.
She has to make it in now. Ding, ding, ding. Hitting her fork.
She calls a quorum. And she says, just so we're clear, everyone, Peter is my boyfriend. And then I thought this was interesting.
You hear that, Johnny? Stay off him.
She says, so I'm off limits. So that's interesting. She's like talking to Johnny and Bobby. Shouldn't she say, just so you know, I'm Peter's girlfriend, so I'm off limits. Instead she says, just so you know, Peter's my boyfriend, so that makes me off limits. I just thought it was kind of weird.
I know I just framed it like this, but I actually do think there's a good chance it's an inside joke to all the Peter Johnny shippers. Because that's how it reads. I mean,
she's saying she's off limits.
I know she is. And it's funny either way. It's funny if it's her just assuming that these boys that have come to live with her are like immediately going to be like, ooh, girl.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Zach sees like two bros have fun together. And he's like, must be gay. Ship them.
No, it's not me. It's the internet. Listen, John, if you're in comics fandom long enough, you hear these things and you can't unhear them.
Well, that is funny. That's funny that they probably were doing some sort of little comment on that. So Aunt May says once again that there's no hanky-panky in this house, which is kind of a nice little callback. And then this is a small scene, but I just wanted to get your opinion on it. It's a small little panel, and it's Aunt May being like, especially you, Johnny Storm. I've read the gossip sites. And then Johnny Storm and Bobby Drake high-five each other, and he's like, guess what, Aunt May? It's all true. Ha 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 ha. They high-five. They're probably gay. Am I right, Zach? And what is interesting about this panel is everyone's face is drawn like black except for Peter's. And I just was wondering what you think the reasoning was behind that, because there must have been some sort of reason and I can't come up with one.
I can't either. I agree that like there was obviously a choice that he's not in shadow and the rest of them are, but he's not even the subject of this scene, so I don't know why that would be.
Yeah. Well, you're the one who told me with like the Marvel method, like they're drawn and written at two different times or something, or they're drawn first and then they're like written in, and I don't know. Yeah, it makes me wonder. But
I'm not sure if they were writing in the Marvel method at this point. It's something that people have gotten away from as time has progressed. Today, there's very few people who still write in the Marvel method. I think it might just be like Dan Slott.
I mean, it seems like a really bad way to craft a story.
It's interesting to say the least. Sometimes it gets something that you couldn't have gotten writing the normal way, but it also can lead to disasters. Yeah.
Yeah. So Peter is like, okay, how are world famous superheroes Bobby Drake and Johnny Storm gonna go to my house and come to my school? And Aunt May gets a sly little look on her face. And she says, let me see what I can do. And I could just hear the Queer Eye for the Straight Guy music going. And the next page, I feel like that had to be like in the zeitgeist at this time. Does that feel like this little makeover montage to you?
I'm going to be honest. I've heard of Queer Eye. I've never watched it.
Well, it's an awesome show, especially when they came back on like 4 years ago or so.
Yeah.
but they're just like makeover guys. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
When I think makeover montage, I hear, I'm walking on sunshine. And the camera's got to be spinning super fast so everything blurs. And then when it unblurs, they're in something new.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And there's always going to be like 100 no's. And some of them are going to be ridiculous. Like you're wearing, like a pineapple on your head or something crazy. Yeah. And then you get to the right one. And it's the only normal thing. And people are like, yeah, that's it.
Well, see, that tells me that your idea of makeovers came from awesome high school comedy movies.
For sure. Or things that parody it.
Yeah. So Aunt May's doing makeovers on him. Really, all the girls are. And Johnny Storm's looking good. Okay, he's got a nice new black haircut. It's chic, it's sleek, and it's suave.
Dude, give me a straight interpretation of this look Peter's giving him.
I don't even... What are you talking... Oh. Dude, he's about to be like... He's about to tell one of his classic Spider-Man one-liners.
Yeah. It's just the art is funny.
I think that they're about to go rough up the socias, if you ask me.
Is that what it looks like?
That's an awesome Outsiders joke. Because they're the greasers.
I liked last episode when you were like, they do a wiggity wiggity woo rocket power handshake.
Okay, so Johnny Storm's looking good. Bobby Drake, on the other hand, his head is shaved. He looks like such a little twerp. Peter even looks like he's about to like big brother him and just like stick his head in the toilet. I think that Bobby Drake is the new Brian Michael Bendis stand-in.
I don't think so, because he looks like a baby.
He does, dude. He looks like a baby. Little baby Bobby.
He looks like the medieval paintings where babies are just small bald men.
So Peter's like, oh, you know who you sound like? He's talking to Johnny Storm, and he's like, who? And Peter's like, my cousin. And Johnny's like, you have a cousin? He goes, I do now. And then it zooms in, and it goes to black. And the scene changes. It doesn't, Zach, if you were looking for that. But in my head, it does.
Right.
Because we're watching a sitcom.
Walking on sunshine fades out fast.
Exactly. So Aunt May's in there with the principal, and she's like, yep, Peter's two cousins have to come to school with us. All of their records were lost in the flood, which is a pretty convenient excuse. And the principal's like, look, Aunt May, I'll be honest with you. I know that last time we spoke, I tried to have you arrested for aiding and abetting Spider-Man, and that I tried to kick your nephew out of school, but I don't care about that. I think Spider-Man's a hero. And she's like, okay, he's not Spider-Man, so it doesn't matter. And the principal's like, okay, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying.
I don't care if he is. I don't care if he isn't.
And he's like, but these new kids that are coming in, it needs to be a normal school, Aunt May. You understand that, right?
He's like, I know you have a penchant for parenting fucking superpowered freaks that come back to life.
I know you've been taking in a lot of superhero kids.
I know you're running Aunt May's School for Gifted Youngsters.
And so she gets them. They're all allowed to be in. So the next day at Midtown High, we see Johnny Storm. He's got his black hair. He's doing finger guns at everybody down the hall.
Guns.
He's never looked cooler. I think we can safely say that having black hair and doing finger guns is cool. It's that Tobey Maguire wasn't able to pull it off. Because isn't this the second person that we've seen doing this in the last couple issues? Didn't we just talk about this? Like,
who else did finger guns?
Venom. Was it Eddie Brock? Was he doing finger guns at some people? Or maybe it was it was when Peter was in the Venom suit. I think I said, "Oh, he's doing finger guns at people."
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, it's cool. Okay.
I think you missed something. So what's the very first panel? It's like Midtown High School the next morning.
Yep. MJ says, "No way." Yeah, MJ sees it. She's freaking out.
She immediately clocks who these people are, and Gwen has to like cover her mouth because she's about to like spill the beans to everyone.
As you would. Because if Zach showed up with a different colored hair, I would recognize him. Because although he said earlier, I don't have object permanence, I do.
Well, and you would assume other people would remember when Johnny Storm went to this school, but I guess they don't.
Both of these guys seem like very memorable people in this world.
Yeah. Bobby has literally slided
we'll
up to the school before.
See, I guess to be fair, when these guys are both in their hero forms, they are pretty obscured. If they have something going for them, you know.
So. I think just about everyone is.
Well, I just mean it's like their face is on fire. Their face is all icy. That would be hard to tell. You know?
Right. But Johnny at least is like...
Of course, MJ is going to recognize them because she's met them before.
She's hung out with Johnny several times, yeah.
And all of those people that went to the bonfire with Johnny Storm should recognize him.
Right.
Yeah. Gelfand and that girl who's on fire now. They should both recognize Johnny Storm.
Geldof?
Yeah. So they want Mary Jane. The group wants Mary Jane to be in their friend group again. Peter explains to her the situation, and I really don't like that. Like, this is our new group. We used to have a group that was like Peter, MJ, Gwen, Kitty, Kong, and now it's like Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
John, you can't just keep saying that to knock it.
I'm not.
It's fun.
Okay.
Lean into the silliness of it.
I guess it's fine. Okay, Zach.
Okay. Well, I don't like LaFuente's art in general.
No.
This page made me so happy. It's so funny. So the way Mary Jane is drawn is so expressive, and you just get the physical humor with all these people. I feel like
it's trying to like replace our group because look, we've got like a different MJ that's totally different. We have a different Kong, you know, because I think Bobby looks like Kong, kind of. I just think, you know, I don't know. Okay, sorry if I'm drinking too much haterade.
When you were in high school, did you never have people that kind of drift in and out of your friend group a little bit? And still, maybe it's like the core people, but, you know, one guy comes back over the summer break and has gotten really into, let's say, journalism and wearing glasses. And then, so-and-so moves away from the school, but you meet this other new person. Like, I think this is pretty...
And that one guy started dressing in, like, kilts and was only doing punk rock stuff now.
Yes.
Okay. That's fair. Good.
It's organic.
Very much so. Okay, so he wants MJ to come back over and be back in the friend group again. So, just then, Peter looks towards the door, and everything kind of stops, and they all look at Peter, and they can tell something's going on. And there's a girl right in front of the door. And am I crazy, or what am I about to say, Zach?
Is that the same girl from my issue?
It's the same girl from the bridge.
I
just can't help, you know. And I thought that thing about the girl being weird before this scene. Like when I read the issue, I was like, this is kind of weird. Girls just coming, you know. And then when this happened, I was certain it was going to be the same girl.
Well, and they did character design to like a painstaking degree with her to where she would stand out. She didn't look like when you just draw a random civilian. I think you're onto something.
Okay, I like it. All right, so they're looking towards the door. Well, Peter should have realized that also. He's seen this girl the same amount of times that I have. And I did kind of like this little page where they're all looking for the door, kind of waiting for something to happen. And I don't know, just because of the type of story it is, you really don't know what's about to happen. This could be like a total dud, or it could be something crazy. So we turn the page and the entire door explodes, and it kind of blasts Peter back. So many people would be dead.
Definitely.
I feel that this is, yeah.
They weren't particularly close to the door, but you see the flames reach Peter.
Definitely. There's so many people in between Peter and the door that would be dead.
Yep.
I feel like this is a really big missed opportunity to, I wish we as the audience never knew if things were real or if they were like holograms.
I mean, we didn't on the bridge.
I guess that's true.
Be careful what you wish for, John. We just knocked an issue for that.
No, I don't. I like that. I like that Mysterio stuff. I think we should be guessing when this happens and it blows up. I think that the first guess should be like, did that really happen, or is this like a hologram that Peter has to like mentally, get through?
I think the tell is that his spider senses are kind of warning him about something. Whereas if it was a hologram, it would be a good bit for everyone else to freak out and him to say, wait a minute, my spider senses aren't going off.
That's true.
This isn't
definitely
real.
Yeah. That's going to be something to look out for, probably. So, this huge, really stupid looking green robot thing comes flying through. What do you think?
I gotta say, I would imagine the first time I encountered this robot thing, I also probably thought it was stupid. But you know what, John?
I would think this was like a good guy. I mean, he looks so... I would like love this if this were like one of the hero's pets and it was like a big stupid robot dog. I think that'd be like the funniest thing ever.
It's so ridiculous and not grounded in like what you would expect a killer robot to look like. Now, when I look at it, all I can think is this would be an angel in Neon Genesis Evangelion. And I love that.
They made it Evangelion tease.
I know. They made it so stupid. And some of those angels really have designs where you're like, oh, cool. Someone just took acid and then sat down and drew something. And that's what this has, that quality.
Okay, interesting. So Peter rushes his friends to safety. He's like, everybody get out. Johnny Storm tries to help, and he's like, no, you can't. Remember, you have to be undercover. So
he said Aunt May said no. There's people dead, and they're worried about Aunt May's house rules.
Good, I love that. So they get everyone outside. I guess nobody died. I don't know. That's awfully convenient.
They're Hearth Michelsons.
Yeah. But they're like students.
Yeah.
I would not keep going to this school. Okay. This is so dangerous.
It's so funny because they've mentioned several times even that they have more students now after Ultimatum. Like, imagine being the people
I guess that's true. Like, yeah, there's...
Your school closed, and they're like, oh, where are we sending us now? Oh, I don't know, the fucking school that keeps getting attacked by supervillains.
Sweet. That's awesome. The one that Aunt May keeps, like, recruiting superheroes into her house.
I'm putting together a team.
So Peter is hopping around, putting his costume on, thinking to himself, yeah.
I love those shots where he's doing, like, dive rolls and pulling his shirt down and stuff. It's
good stuff.
So cool.
And I like that he's using his brain, because he's like, this robot is only attacking me, so he knows it's going after him. So he kind of right away knows it's Mysterio. And oh my gosh, we get a Kong sighting. I think that he has a girlfriend. I think he has a little punk girlfriend.
I can't tell if that's Jessica Jones or a random girl we've never met.
I think I'm going to say it's a random girl because it's his punk rock girlfriend.
Sick. I love it.
So Peter's fighting this thing and he's kind of losing. It's electrocuting him through the wall, and he shows up and he's got the principal, and he helps the principal escape. And then our favorite new character, the Assassin's Creed character, jumps in, and she very, very easily just like disarms this thing. We don't even really see what she does. She just jumps in, and then the next scene,
it shuts down.
It's in the background with like smoke coming from it. And then Johnny Storm comes in and just like lights it all on fire. He's kind of a dumbass.
He couldn't help himself. Hey, it's the old saying, when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
He lights it all on fire, and he's like, hey, it could have gotten up again. And Peter is like, hey, man, we're not supposed to do that because you're not supposed to burn the evidence. And I can't help but think he's only saying that because this is like what the police commissioner said to him like last issue.
Yeah. He just learned that
Peter
lesson
would
the
not
day before.
care about this at all. He was like, yeah, dude, just light it up.
That's sick, man.
And
no, look at him. He's putting on airs. He's acting like he knew this the whole time.
Definitely. Dude. He's like, come on, Johnny. If we're going to be superheroes, we have to leave the evidence for the cops.
Listen, as someone who's been Spider-Man for about a year, I never with the crime scenes.
And so as this thing is flaming behind them, Johnny looks around and he says, wasn't someone else here? And Peter says, yes, there was. Talking about the Assassin's Creed guy. And Johnny says, maybe we should ask if they want to move in with us. And that's really funny. Peter says,
great.
Yuck, 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 yuck.
It's a joke, John. This comic
that's
is
funny.
Nothing if not self-aware. You can't say it's just, making these mistakes half-assed. They are fully committed to the bit, for better or worse.
So Peter and Johnny swing and fly away, yelling half day for all the students, except for all the ones that were murdered minutes ago. And Bobby, who looks like he just broke out of prison. You know who he looks like to me? Is
the prison break guy.
He does look like the prison break guy. He looks exactly like him, which means he also looks like the guy from The Flash, because that's the same guy. But he also looks like Huey from the comic The Boys.
Oh, I haven't read the comic. So many people have told me it's not good.
Yeah, I don't think that it is. But they also made like the animated episodes of The Boys, and Huey looks like that. And this is what he looks like. So, and he's like, oh, I could have done that in 2 seconds. And they're like, yeah, but it's good to keep a low profile. I don't know. He doesn't seem too happy with his new role here. So Mary Jane is like, just be thankful. Or no, I'm sorry. It's Gwen. Gwen is like, listen, just be thankful you're not dealing with what Kitty's dealing with. And MJ's like, wait, where is Kitty? And Zach, I promise,
This is, I know you didn't watch Phineas and Ferb, but this is the moment in every episode where they go, hey, where's Perry? And then you see their pet platypus switch into secret agent mode.
Well, as soon as MJ said, where's Kitty? I was like, oh, darn it. She's the Assassin's Creed person. I can't believe... Did I say that at all last episode? I know I said Jessica Drew. Did I even say it could be Kitty?
You didn't, and I have been... I was interested to see if you came to that conclusion, because I can remember getting to this reveal.
Been able to.
I can remember getting to this reveal the first time and thinking, oh my god, how did I not see that coming? It's so obvious, but somehow they like hid it from us very effectively.
The clues were there. It'd be interesting to go back and reread and just see where Kitty was all these times. You know, if she ever seemed like she was in two places at once to throw us off the scent. Because I definitely knew that it was someone, you know. So I should have been able to come up with Kitty Pryde. There's not that many people it could have been. I just wasn't thinking of her.
And she's also always changing her costumes too.
Yeah, as soon as this reveal happened, I was like, oh, Zach even talks about how he never likes any of her costumes.
This one's okay. This one's pretty badass.
So you know, we get the reveal to Kitty Pryde. She looks pretty beat up after this fight, to be honest. She's kind of bleeding from the nose. What's happening with her? I thought she couldn't get hurt.
I don't know why she's bleeding from the nose right now. I mean, she just phased through the thing. So part of her power, right, is when she phases through something that's electrical, she like disrupts it. So that's
she had to like exert a lot of power.
Yeah, I don't understand why I don't get it. But I mean, it looks badass, right? You know, you got to have your superhero get a little roughed up every now and then.
Okay.
I don't know. It would have made more sense after the fight with Mysterio because he actually, you know, landed a hit or two on her.
Yeah, this seemed pretty easy for her. It was like one thing. So we're back to Mysterio in our final scene of the issue. And he's once again giving like a big Trump rally speech, just talking about how he's just going to win everything and he's not Wilson Fisk and he's better. And he makes these things called Spider Slayers. That's a Spider Slayer now. So that's like a thing, I guess. Spider Slayers.
Well, we've already had Spider Slayers. The Tinkerer made them. So these are just his versions, I guess.
But then S.H.I.E.L.D. had Spider Slayers too.
Well, yeah, because the Tinkerer made it for them.
Okay. Yeah. So that's just parallel thought.
I guess. He's kind of the character for that, though, because there was also the Mysterio in Spider-Man the movie. Not real Spider-Man the movie, but in the comic, when they made Spider-Man the movie, there was already a Mysterio.
And the Tinkerer was working with him.
What?
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
So the movie that like Kong was an extra in, right?
Oh yeah, that was a Mysterio movie.
They had Mysterio before there's a real life Mysterio in their universe.
Yeah.
So this guy, he's an enigma on many levels.
Yeah. So Mysterio's going to run some tests with his blood, and then as he's giving his big villain speech, he can see on all of his cameras that the police are approaching his little compound. And he says, "Uh-oh, seems I have a drop by," as he's looking at all the cops on his camera. And right then, we see the police captain, Quaid, who's telling his men, "You're getting too close. This guy's not an idiot. He's going to know that we're here." And then we see Mysterio's face get really mad, and he says, "Damn it, so close." And he blows up his building. Or does he? It could all be a hologram. And the police captain, at the same time, as his car is like flipping through the air, and he's like flipping. He's flipping midair. He's like, "Damn it, so close." I don't know. I'm not sure why they juxtapose these things the way they did. It seems a little forced to me. So the only thing I can maybe think of is the police captain Mysterio? Are we? And
Wouldn't
if
that
not,
be something?
It would kind of be something, and it would be kind of cool. Also, you know,
what if both of them are Kitty Pryde?
That'd be kind of cool, I guess. That's triple the Kitty Pryde we'd normally get.
I'm for it.
Yeah. But otherwise, it just seems really forced, you know?
Yeah, I think it's just I mean, yeah, I think it's just there. So you're like, hey, look, he did the thing. He said the same line.
Thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So out of 10 live studio audiences that this was filmed in front of,
I like it.
what do you give it?
Dude,
I can give this one a 7.5.
Okay.
Live studio audiences.
Okay. I was going to give it an 8. I thought you were going to call me a madman.
No, I'm having fun with all of these.
This was a fun issue, dude. I like the energy in their group now. Everyone's having fun.
That's like my least favorite part.
It sounds like I'm joking. When she took in Johnny Storm, I'm like, what are we doing here? When you take in Iceman, who I don't care about one way or the other.
Me neither. I don't care about these guys at all.
Now it's a fun bit. Now there's enough people there for some real hijinks, for a party to go on. And it's something that we've never seen Spider-Man in this situation before. It's actually kind of different without really changing much.
Okay.
It's fun to me.
I kind of just want him to, like, fight the Green Goblin.
Sure.
Oh, you know.
And we'll get to that.
Okay.
But there's some other stuff that we can do as well.
Okay. Well, not bad. Pretty good ones.
Definitely. So next week, continuing on, we're getting into issues 7 and 8.
Nice.
Yeah.
Does this have arcs like the last run did? You know, we'd have like arcs.
There definitely will be arcs. I think we're still finding our footing for the new relaunch, though.
Yeah, we're still in season 1.
Definitely. Well, it's even like the first half of a season 1 where you're like rounding out the cast, because there's
exactly,
like, I'm watching Cowboy Bebop right now, and it took like 8 or 9 episodes before they get the full crew that's going to be on the ship, because you got to have those episodes where you go somewhere and meet someone and then take them in. And we just basically finished that up.
Yep, that's true. Who's Aunt May going to take in next week?
That is the question. Something I kind of do wonder about Aunt May that I'm not sure we've gotten an answer on is she still? Oh my God, is she still dating Miles Warren? Did Miles Warren survive Ultimatum?
I don't know. Is there more to that story than they've let on?
There should be.
I mean, she's dating the psychiatrist that like worked for Norman Osborn and did hypnosis on Harry. Yeah, there should be some sort of a follow up to that.
I couldn't agree more, but I don't think they're still doing that.
Oh, well, you would know.
Missed opportunity.
Okay. Anything else on these issues?
Nope.
So, are we talking about Evangelion? Is that the big ticket item for this for this post Spider-Man talk pod?
If you'll humor me, sure. And
Sure.
the listeners, a lot of listeners are interested to hear what you have to say, John.
Well, I'm probably going to upset people because I just don't have that much to say about it. I just don't. It's like fine, you know.
It's fine.
I watched like 2 episodes of it, and it's like, oh, it's a big robot show. It's like a Godzilla type of show. See, I do think it's interesting that you know, it's a Japanese show, and it's like sort of like Godzilla and kaiju reference and everything, because you know Godzilla was originally like I can't think of what the word is, but for like the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
You know, so
a lot of their
I don't know
stuff it comes from it. The more you look into like Japanese pop culture, the more it all comes back to like the atom bomb or the generation of people who were raised by World War II vets. And
so that's kind of interesting, but this is just not going to be my type of show. I'm like sorry to say it just isn't going to happen.
Okay.
It doesn't mean I won't throw it on and try to watch it all the way through, but it's just like, oh, the kid he's the only one that can be in the robot because his blood or something. you know.
This doesn't surprise me. And I'm not trying to like entrap you into like, oh, you got to keep watching it, dude. But it does change dramatically. So it's trying to subvert tropes, but before it can do that, it has to like use the tropes, if that makes sense. So it definitely, for like maybe 10 episodes, is very much the show that it is selling. And then at a certain point, it becomes something completely different. You're like, oh, wow, I didn't expect.
Oh, so is the whole show
come.
not about like fighting like big robot fights?
Absolutely not. No. In fact, I would say by the end, that's almost like the part of the show they want to do the least with.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't know. Like I said, I'll throw it on when I've got 25 minutes here and there, and I can't think of anything else to do.
You did text me, LOL. And by the way, I'm talking.
Oh my
about...
gosh! 1 second into pressing play on this thing, the like most absurd theme song I've ever heard in my life. I just like did not know at all what to expect from this show. Like, so the second that came up, I was just like, Zach, what am I doing here?
Did you really not like the theme
song? It's like
song?
all in Japanese. I'm like, please tell me this show is not in Japanese, and I'm gonna have to like read subtitles to think of what's going on. Which luckily it wasn't. No, I mean, I don't know. I skipped it. I think I listened to it for a minute, and then I was like, oh, go.
Oh my god, I will never skip that theme song, and I actually listen to it just for fun sometimes.
I know. Zach said he was listening to it like as I texted him, being like, oh, what is this?
Literally, Shyla, who doesn't watch the show, knows the theme song now because of me. And she was just like walking around saying, da, 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 da. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw that on right now. And then
it's just
I saw you texted me that.
It's just such a different vibe from giant robots fighting in an apocalyptic world.
Dude, it's an even starker difference from like what the show ends up becoming. Because it ends up becoming like, it's all about like psychology and sociology and religion and the human condition and sexuality and depression.
Okay, well that sounds more interesting to me than giant robot fights.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So I'll keep going with it. We can have a little update every week.
All right.
Of course you're not watching Agatha All Along. I'm just sure you're
Shyla
not.
asked me last night if I wanted to watch that, and I was like, I'm sure John would love for me to, but this is my bit that I don't care about Agatha.
I mean, it's fine. When crazy stuff happens, I'll tell you. I'll spoil it for you. Okay.
Has anything crazy happened?
I don't know. It depends what you think of as like crazy. You know, there's a kid in this show who you haven't known who he is the whole time, but of course he's like Wanda's son, and you'll never guess, dude. But he ended up being Wanda's son.
I think that actually did get spoiled for me on Twitter, because didn't they recast him?
Well, I think he's like aged up a little from WandaVision, but yeah, they were just like kids in WandaVision. Now he's a teen.
But I heard it was because they recast him, and people were mad about that. They were like, "Why do they keep doing this?" Because there's something about like
that's Hollywood, baby.
Well, it's the kids. They hire a kid so they don't have to pay them an adult rate, and then that kid grows up and they don't hire them back at the adult rate. They hire someone else, because they did the same thing with Ant-Man's daughter, apparently. I don't know. It's
okay,
like,
well, sorry.
It's like paying actors drama.
All right, I don't have any patience for this. Okay. If the kids did a good enough job, they'd get hired back on, I'm sure. But probably even more than that, it just has to do with the age. You know, those kids were like kids, and this kid is like
A different age kid.
a different age kid. Yeah, kids are not just interchangeable. Like, yeah.
This is great. We're so good.
And he's not even, and he's like playing a fully different character. It's not, he's like goes into like the body of a freshly dead kid. Another kid dies, and this kid like takes his soul. So it's like it wouldn't make sense if they were the same kid.
Gotcha.
You know.
Yeah,
I don't think that kid should have jobs.
I mean, that's based as hell. I don't even really care about, like, I don't know, drama about a show I'm not watching.
Yeah, I don't either. And I haven't seen The Penguin, so I can't care about that either.
I have heard that that's apparently good.
Me too. We've heard the same things.
Sad. I wish I had more time to watch TV.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I just remembered
Invincible?
That. Oh, that's what I saw. Invincible is what I saw. There's a new trailer for that.
Oh, I didn't know there was a trailer. Maybe I saw
something.
I heard the big news was there's not going to
4?
be a stupid break in the middle of the season again.
Yeah, the first teaser trailer. It's probably like nothing at all, but interesting. Well, that's good. I can't wait. I'm sure that'll come back in 2 years. Okay, I don't know how much you watch YouTube at all, but have you seen the ad that Anthony Starr is in? He's the guy who plays Homelander for this like mobile game.
No, but that sounds kind of familiar. I think I've heard people talk about it
everywhere. I see it 30 times a day, and I'm not even joking. I see an Anthony Starr ad for this game. I think it's called Last War. And I can just only imagine the amount of money that he got paid to do these different advertisements. You can like see it in his face, in the way he talks. He's just having none of it. I mean, he's just reading lines from a script, and I just love it so much.
Is he like doing it as Homelander?
Kind of. It's like a little bit of both.
I've seen the videos.
He's like doing it as Anthony Starr, but he's kind of like giving the Homelander vibe, kind of.
Yeah. Have you seen the behind the scenes where like all the cast of The Boys are like doing something and everyone else is like being real people and he is still in Homelander mode? And he's like, yeah, I don't f***ing care. Hey, get that camera out of my face. And they're like, he's kidding.
Dude, he probably is an asshole. He's just using this as an excuse to be a dick to everybody. Like, hey, what's his name?
Anthony Starr.
Joker.
Fight the cliche, dude.
Yeah, Anthony Starr. He's like, they're like, what are you playing? What are you playing, TV's actor Anthony Starr? I'm playing Last War. It's going viral.
Brought to you by Vought Gaming.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah. You got anything else?
Nope. What's the jam of the week, Zach?
Oh, I found this recently. I don't know if you know who.
Tell me.
Do you know who Fugazi are?
Like the Italian phrase, no Fugazi.
Yes.
Like that?
Yeah. Except they're a band called that.
Okay.
So there's like a mixtape out that's not official. It's like a bootleg thing a fan made, but it's called Wugazi. It's Fugazi and the Wu-Tang Clan, sort of like Jay-Z and Linkin Park's Collision Course.
Yep.
And it just works so well. I've been listening to that a lot this week.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the whole thing?
It's the whole thing. It's just amazing 90s rock and rap.
Okay.
Mixed together.
Wugazi.
Yep. It's on YouTube.
All right. You got any trivia for us?
Of course.
Yes. Let's check the score to this game and see how much Purdue is getting annihilated by.
Oh, the game that I so meanly
I am
kept you
guessing
from?
I was going to say, I'm guessing they're just getting hammered. Yeah, they're down 21-0.
Oh my gosh, we're in the Tom Holland section, dude.
Okay.
Okay. In what movie? Now listen closely, all right?
I'm listening.
This might be a tricky question, okay?
I've got it.
In what movie did Tom Holland first appear as Spider-Man?
Iron Man 2. Nailed it. Oh, well, wait. These are two different questions that I just answered. Because if you had asked the question, in what movie did Tom Holland's Spider-Man first appear, the answer would be Iron Man 2. And that's canon. Okay?
Is he the kid at the
He's
Stark
the kid.
Expo?
Yep. That's confirmed. Even
I
though
did not know that.
stupid. That's because it's stupid as hell. But it's confirmed. But okay, you're saying in what movie did Tom Holland's Spider-Man first appear? That would be Captain America: Civil War.
It is.
Yeah.
All right. Which MCU actor was brought in to help choose a new Spider-Man?
Which MCU actor was brought in to help choose the new Spider-Man? Is this to help choose Tom Holland's Spider-Man?
Yes.
Which MCU actor would they have brought in to help choose the new Spider? Is this a Spider-Man actor, or is this someone who was like in the movies pre-Spider-Man? Like, is it like Aunt May? Is it like, Marissa Tomei or something? Like, is it someone who was only in Spider-Man?
I don't know if I can tell you that.
Okay.
I'll tell you it's not Marissa Tomei.
I mean, could it be something as simple as Robert Downey Jr.? That's not my guess. I'm just thinking out loud. And be like, Robert Downey Jr., help us pick this person. Could it be like Jon Favreau? Oh my gosh. Okay, this is so out there. I'm going to take this as a guess. Is it Donald Glover?
That would be fun.
And he is an MCU actor.
He technically is. John, I hate to say it. You had the right answer and you overthought it.
It was Robert Downey Jr.
It was Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
All they cared
figured.
about was that he had good chemistry with Robert Downey Jr.
I kind of figured. I was just hoping there was like a fun answer in there. Donald Glover would have been a good answer.
It was actually Iron Man 2 cameo actor Elon Musk. Thanks, Elon. Okay. Which of Tom Holland's 3 Spider-Man films grossed the most money?
Obviously, No Way Home, or whichever one all the people come back in.
Yeah, 1.9 billion worldwide.
Yep, definitely.
And I bet at least twice that in merchandise.
Good. I just hope that the screenwriters are getting paid.
For sure. Well, no, all that money.
Freaking right. Okay, that's the easiest movie in the world to screenwrite for, anyways. Oh, and then this person comes back, and everyone claps at the screen, and then these villains come back. Then they do a big fight.
Yeah. And Andrew Garfield has to catch the falling girl. And everyone knows that's a reference to when he didn't.
That's true. And we all knew that was going to happen. And then it happened.
Yep. Wow.
And it was cute.
That's great. And can we sneak in, I'm something of a scientist myself?
That was funny. I remember when he said that.
Yeah.
Like a Norman Osborn catchphrase.
Hey, it's just like that other movie.
Did they say the power of the sun in the palm of my hand?
Yep.
Good. It sounds like the screenwriters did a lot of good work. We're just hating on the screenwriters now.
No, being completely honest, that money probably just got reinvested into the Bring Robert Downey Jr. Back Fund.
That movie's lining the pockets. of
Oh
the
my God.
Disney execs. Okay, I'm gonna become the Shocker.
Or Electro, or one of those guys.
Yeah.
Tony Stark fired me just for watching porn at work. I have to do terrorism now.
I want to go as Halloween as that costume.
Which costume?
I don't know. I need a second person to go as. I want to be Jeff Bridges because I want to be able to yell the line the entire day. But I need somebody else to be like Feldman or whoever that guy's name was. They've got to be Steven Glansberg.
Yeah, that would be a great Halloween costume that would play well with the audience of you and me.
Yeah. Okay. You got anything else?
I don't. Do you?
Nope. Let's send it out.
All right.
Thank you to Ian Hickey for the music and Alyssa Seaman for the artwork. And thank you all for listening and leaving us a review or a comment. You can find us, the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast, on Spotify or Apple Music or anywhere else you find podcasts. And you can leave us a comment on Instagram at First Read Podcast. Send us an email at firstreadspidey@gmail.com. Or find us on YouTube, the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast. See you next week.
See ya.